Welcome to Wow Drama Stories. I have 2 stories for you today. Let's kick off with story number 1. Opie writes, I, female 27, ran from my abusive ex when I was 4 months pregnant. I got into a different state. I legally changed my name and didn't name my child the name we had agreed on. He didn't know my social or my ID number. The only way he had of tracking me down was my name, but that was gone, long gone. I had signed into domestic violence safe haven shelters to get into my own place and find a job. I had built a great life for me and my child. I had planned running away from him for a little over a year because it felt like my only way out. He would always find me and drag me back. He made it out that if I don't take my depression meds, I act out and try to harm myself. The police ended up believing him and became of no help. They brushed off all 4 of my domestic violence calls as simple disagreements. I had saved up just a little over 10K in a bank account my mom had set up to help me get away and come to her so he wouldn't find out about how much money I really had. My dad helped mostly by putting in a lot more than what I could. He would get suspicious and ask where all my money was going, and I would pass it off as bills. In my new town, I've made very few people aware of my situation. It's people that could help if something was to happen. These past 2 months, I've been watched by someone unknown. He's always wearing a baseball cap and sunglasses, but I could swear on my life it's my ex. I ended up leaving work a few times due to having panic attacks from seeing the guy. He never interacts with me, only my co-workers. He waits until I'm out of earshot to speak to order and gives different names for his orders. My co-workers have thought it was strange because he comes in almost every other week for a week straight for the past 2 months using different names. After this, I went to the police station to speak to one of the people I made friends with and is aware of my situation. He said he would have patrol officers drive by my house and keep a lookout. I have never seen him around my house or drive by it. I started getting letters in the mail that I believe are from him. No one signs them with their name. The envelope only ever has my old name and new address on it. The letters consist of him saying, I love you and miss you. It never goes into detail about who is writing them. I took them to the police station to the one I'm friends with. He told me I need to find another place to stay for a while and file for a restraining order. I made a fake account and messaged one of my old friends. They said they were glad to hear from me. They are glad I'm okay, and that he's been trying to report us as missing, which I had already knew. That he's still there working his old job, but he does go on week-long trips and nobody knows where he's going on them. What's keeping us from becoming a missing persons case is my mom. Police had contacted her and she told them everything. She showed them proof that I was in fact alive and doing well. She explained why I ran, but said she wouldn't disclose my location. They ended up contacting me to confirm the story my mom gave them. The police finally, after all this time, believed me. They asked if I wanted to come back to file charges or a restraining order. I told them no, I want to stay where I'm at and to stay as far as I can from him. Yesterday, I had missed my mailman and he left a slip that I need to sign for a letter. I haven't ordered or requested anything to have to sign for. I'm not on any government benefits or having any court case going on. I reactivated the fake Facebook and messaged my old friend again. She said she hasn't heard anything, but she'll ask. I keep it active, and she messaged me early this morning. She said that there is some talk that he knows where I'm at, and is talking about going to court and take me for custody. I asked her if I would get it via mail and would have to sign for it. She said she isn't sure, that I would have to ask the post office. I left the letter there all day yesterday at the post office instead of calling them and going to get it. I don't think I want to go pick it up. I don't want to face the possible truth that he has found me. I don't want to go back to that town. I don't want to go back to my old life. I don't want to relive the nightmare I had finally escaped. I don't know what to do at this point. Edit. I just want to say thank you first for all of the kind words and advice you all have given me. After I made this post, I went to work. When I got to work, they said a guy came in looking for me. They described my ex. They kept telling him that I don't work there, and if he comes back in, they'll have him arrested, because apparently he threw a big fit when they said I don't work there. I was given permission to leave to seek legal help. I went to my friend that's a cop and got me in contact with a few lawyers. I'd spoken to one and he's taking my case. He filed stalking, harassment and domestic violence against him. He has also filed CPO. They issued a warrant and cops are combing the area to find him. They all have his picture and name. They aren't going to stop until they have him in custody. I sat and cried because this has been my life for the past 4, almost 5 years since I ran that he's trying to ruin. Where I live, they rule in favor of the mother when it comes to domestic violence. Apparently, since I left, he was with someone that filed charges against him for domestic violence and it got dropped. Thank you for all the kind words and advice. I have appreciated it beyond the words I could say. Update 1. Here is the long-awaited update. He was caught that late night, early morning when he ran a stoplight heading back home. He was processed and sat in his cell waiting to appear in front of the judge on his warrant for domestic violence, which was that following Thursday. When he was arrested and processed, they served him the CPO. As he was being processed, he obviously got a call. He had called his dad and told him everything. His dad told him he didn't raise a woman beater and he wasn't bailing him out. They also saw he had another warrant that had been issued a few days prior back home. Apparently, the girl he was with left him while he was away and pressed domestic violence charges against him as well. I'm not sure what they'll do with him now that he has charges in 2 different places or how that will work. He appeared in front of the judge on Thursday and said they were holding him on $100,000 because they considered him dangerous and an extreme flight risk. He sat there until the following Tuesday when he was released to the other police department that they had contacted to let them know. He is now currently up there waiting for his bond to be set. They said he's most likely not getting one from them but will sit there. He was made to serve 30 days in jail on his warrant back home. Cops had said he probably won't be let loose pending both trials due to the circumstances surrounding his case and him being extremely dangerous while being a flight risk. They are going to do their best to keep him in jail until his convictions in both cases. He has CPO issue against him in both. I asked them to keep my name redacted out of everything just in case this breaks to the media. I've purchased a gun, beer spray and other forms of protection. We have moved and still in contact with a cop that I was friends with. For the first time in a long time, I finally feel free and I can live without fear. Sorry for making you guys wait for an update. A month later, there's a second update from Opie. I heard today that they have found witnesses to his abuse that can account for the other girl's abuse. Since this came to light, he has changed his plea in both cases to guilty. They aren't going to have a trial for either of the cases, just a court date for sentencing. I believe he knew he was effed when witnesses were mentioned. He has gotten sloppy with his abuse the last few years. I hope he rots. And 6 months later, we have a final update from Opie. He got 2 counts of felony stalking, me and our daughter. 2 counts of harassment, me and my daughter. 2 counts of domestic violence, me and the other girl. 2 counts of felony assault, me and the other girl. 1 count of endangering a minor, my daughter. And 1 count of resisting arrest. They hit him with everything they legally could. This is what he got for each charge. 2 counts of felony stalking, 2 years, a year for each charge. 2 counts of harassment, 4 months, 2 months for each charge. 2 counts of domestic violence, 8 months, 4 months for each charge. 2 counts of felony assault, 4 years, 2 years for each charge. 1 count of child endangerment, 180 days. 1 count of resisting arrest, 90 days. He's to serve them consecutively. They didn't punish him with a max sentence on the felonies because he pled guilty and waived a trial, just took the sentencing. They wanted this done and over. The sentencing took a little longer because it was between 2 states. He'll serve all his time in one state, then transfer to another and serve his time there. Me and my baby have since relocated, and thank God every day for the ones that helped. I'm still in contact with the people I knew at my old home. They are glad we are doing well. Opie, I'm glad you're doing well, and it took a lot of courage for you to leave and then to stand up to your ex when he came after you like that. And the fact that he did the same to another girl and there were witnesses, well, it's pretty clear that he is a bad egg. Hopefully he'll get his act together. Who knows? The important thing, Opie, is that you got out, you got away, you got yourself and your daughter safe, and your story will give hope to other people in similar situations than yours. You did say that you tried to file domestic violence charges in the past, and it just didn't work. The police didn't believe you, they believed him. And I do believe that happens in more than a few cases, but you know the truth, I always say this, the truth always comes out eventually. I wish you a bright and a peaceful future, Opie. You and your daughter certainly deserve that. And well done to all the people that did help you. On to story number 2. Opie writes, "To be honest, I don't know what happened, and today my world has been flipped upside down and it hurts so much. I get a call today at work from my wife of 7 years that she has moved out and back to her parents. This hit me out of the blue, as we just had a great relax at home weekend and were making plans for me to take off work a couple of days for her spring break, for us to spend more time together and go somewhere. When I went to talk to her, she tells me she is not sure if she can see herself being happy with me in the future, and that she feels like she's walking on eggshells around me. This surprises me as we don't argue. I don't yell, scream, or have ever been physical with her, and I actively encourage her to communicate with me and tell me if there is something bothering her. The most upset I get is snippy, but that's always at a situation never directed towards her, and is rare in and of itself. Example, dog breaks a hole in fence, and I get a flat tire on the way to get materials. I'll grumble and be grumpy about it, but don't take it out on her, even to the point of reassuring her I'm not upset at her, but what happened, and apologize. Mind you, we have actively been trying to conceive for a year, and have been buying baby items slowly. I begged for counseling, but she is unsure if she wants to make the effort. I don't know what to do. Help." We do have an update from Opie, but first let's get a comment with a reply from Opie. "If you had zero inkling about her being unhappy, mad, you not pulling your weight, etc., it sounds like she may have already moved on, possibly with someone else. Otherwise, if this has completely just come out of the blue and she refuses to communicate, there really isn't much you can do. The moment one partner decides they are done with a relationship, it is over." Opie replies, "I work full-time, she works part-time. I cook and do half the cleaning, she does the other half of the cleaning. We split rent and I pay all bills and food." Update 1. Talk to her today and convince her to do couples counseling. Based on everything she is saying, it sounds like the stress of not conceiving and some of her thoughts bouncing in her head is making her feel like she can't be happy because she feels I am unhappy, and that loop is making her spiral. Well, 1 year later, we have an update from Opie. "Just to give an update, sadly, we ended up divorcing. Those of you who guess someone else were correct. It turns out that when she transferred to a new work location, she ran across a woman she stalked in high school. This stirred up old feelings, and add to that a midlife crisis of her, quote, never having partied like her co-workers half her age, unquote, made her decide to end our relationship, so that she would not be considered a cheater for trying to pursue the other woman. All this didn't come out until after the divorce was filed. Her family didn't find out until she made a pass at the co-worker and got rejected, then fired for sexual harassment shortly before the divorce legally finalized. I'm not sure how true this is, since it came from one of her nephews who didn't believe the lies she initially told as to why she left. Since the divorce, I have lost half my body weight, focused on my career, been promoted twice, and I'm still trying to overcome the trust issues I now have. I haven't seen or talked to her since last June. I feel numb about her, to be honest. But it hurts when her family calls to try to hang out with me or check in on me. I'm still putting one foot in front of the other, trying to move forward, but it doesn't feel like I'm getting anywhere. Well, let's get some comments with replies from Opie. Opie, if you dropped half your body weight through nutrition and exercise and got promoted twice, it sounds like you are actually moving forward. Eventually, you will move forward enough to seek out a new partner. To this, Opie replies, dropped it more to no appetite and depression, but I did reduce my portion size and dropped sugar after November. I went from 420 to 210. And here's another comment. This is so fake. Lost half your body weight, got promoted 2 times, and let me guess, adopted a half-blind golden labradoodle and met a gorgeous redhead the other day at the coffee shop. Yep, totally happening. You won the divorce. To this, Opie replies, believe what you want. One promotion was in the works before she left, the other happened just days after the divorce finalized. Thankfully, it couldn't be used to help calculate the alimony settlement. She took our 2 dogs with her, even though we adopted them together. Had to pay a 5-figure alimony settlement, pay off her car, move into a 1-bedroom apartment. The medical bills from the complications from losing so much weight so fast have been horrendous. Never mind the fact that I have so much excess skin that I will need to have surgically removed. I have not even considered dating or going out, as I know I still have emotional baggage I need to unpack from all of this. There is no winning. Opie is 30 years old and so is his ex-wife. But really, Opie, even though you say there is no winning, and I understand that it's been a big loss financially, there's the emotional cost of all of this, but you're doing well, Opie. And I understand that a year into it, you don't yet realize it, but this is pretty much a good outcome. It's better than it could have been, Opie. Thank goodness she never conceived. You get to start a new life, to go on with your new life without being tied to her for the rest of your life. And once you get over all of this, and yes, I understand you need that surgery with the excess skin and all the health issues that goes with it, but Opie, you will get to that point. One day you're going to wake up and all this will just be as if by magic lifted from you, because you would have worked your way through all of this. And it's very smart that you're not going to date until then. As for your ex, Opie, I am not sure that your ex is going to do the work on herself that she needs to do to be happy in her life and in her future. But she's no longer your concern. Focus on yourself. You're still very young. You will recover financially. Eventually, you'll get there, and also emotionally. I'm excited for your future, Opie. I think good things are waiting for you. And with that, we've come to the end of this edition of Wow Drama Stories. Thank you for joining me. It's great to be back, and I'll see you again soon. Be good to yourself, everyone. Bye.